Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher Realms. Today we're going to be checking out just how good Lyra actually is and how much she's going to help you in Semra Guild Boss 2, especially APOC 2. Can she do the job and make the difference for the Infernal Blast team? But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so we have Lyra here, very cool looking hero, and I think she's the one that's getting the skin for the holidays, but anyways, for her skills, one of the biggest reasons here that I think Lyra is going to be a game changer for Semra is this magic resistance reduction. If you weren't aware, there's very limited heroes that have this magic resistance debuff, and it's almost like a defense down except it's for magic resistance, and magic damage works as magic attack minus magic resistance. Physical damage works as physical attack minus defense. So bringing in this magic resistance reduction paired with like a TwinFiend offering a 25% magic vulnerability is key to taking on these bigger bosses with the Infernal Blast teams. Now Guild Boss 1 has a pretty low defense and magic resistance compared to Guild Boss 2. So that's why Infernal Blast does so darn well in Guild Boss 1 compared to Guild Boss 2. But I have a list here right on the Discord. I got it popped up on the screen. You can see there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 heroes in the game that are putting a magic resistance reduction on enemies. Ajax only does it when enemies walk into his range and it falls off shortly after. Greed does it somewhat inconsistently. Talon is a little bit more consistent, but it's on his ultimate, I believe. Helga, you need an A3 for 15%. Anai, A1 for 15%. She does it pretty consistently as long as there's a burn up. Xena is 15% at A5. Ibizu is 15% at A3 during her ultimate. Vierna does it when an enemy has Mortal Kiss. And then Lyra just does it on her basic attack as a general debuff. So she's kind of like the Torador defense drop of the Infernal Blast faction, especially from pretty much for any magic damage dealers. And we also have magic vulnerabilities that you can bring. Celine is a big one, and we had a lot of hype around that 30% when she is bonded. She just keeps a constant 30% magic vulnerability up on there. But TwinFiend does it at A1, which is going to be pretty common for people to be bringing that. Pyros does it as well at a lower percentage of 20%. So TwinFiend at 25, Pyros at 20. She kind of copies their attacks and includes their focused fire effects. So bringing them along is a big deal. Now with Infernal Blast teams, you don't need to worry about defense down. You don't need to worry about physical vulnerabilities. You just need to worry about magic resistance reduction and magic vulnerabilities. Now with that being said, she also has the ability on her Rift Resonance to remove a buff from the target. This is going to work really nice on the Guild Boss 2 because of Aegis shields popping up. Now she's kind of like a Kagiri, Lucius kind of combo where she's also offering Magic Res Reduction. She's going to remove the buff from the target and she's going to be copying the Infernal Blast attacks. Plus she does a significant amount of damage on her own. Testing for today, we are going to be using an Awaken 5 Lyra, and I'm going to be seeing how well she does in Semra. So, but first, this is the team that we're going to be using. I am running a Helga, but it is A0, so she's not affecting any magic resistance or magic vulnerabilities. We're going to use Jira as a tank, and it is going to be on the team to put the minus 30% damage reduction on the boss, so he doesn't do as much damage to your allies. We have Constance in there because Constance is Constance. Same thing with Praetus. He's going to help with the stuns and a load of damage. And he's magic damage as well. So having Lyra on the team should increase his damage. Then we're going to go with Helga instead of Cornelian because there's too many platform units on this team. So we're just going to have to reduce Semra's attack the best we can. Then Lyra, of course. And then Zillitu. Zillitu is somebody that's not doing a really good job currently on Semra. So I wanted to see if she could do a little bit better considering the fact that we're bringing magic resistance reduction and pairing it with TwinFiend's 25% magic vulnerability to see if she can actually become a player on Guild Boss 2. Then we have First in here for inspiration. We have damage reduction and anybody in his range. It's a great unit, pretty much essential for most people. And then TwinFiend in here. Eloin's on there for the cleanses, of course. And Lyra is going to remove the buffs from the Aegis shield. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get right into the fight. I will show you kind of how Lyra works, the things that she's going to be doing, and then I'm just going to go into a time lapse and come back to you with the results after we hit 120k. I don't really want to go much further than that. I'm sure that they could, but maybe not so much with Helga on the team. Cornelian would probably needed to go too much further. But I just want to see your damage numbers compared to the others, and that's what I'm really looking for. I want to see also if Zillitu can now be used with that magic resistance reduction, and how well she does. Alright, so let's go ahead and get down Zillitu right here. I'm going to put Constance right here. We're going to add Jira. I'll wait for Jira. We're going to add Lyra first here. Then Eloin. I'm going to be applying some AVIG as well as we go along here. I'm going to put TwinFiend right here. We are going to go ahead and put down, I want to say Percy right here should work. And then we're going to put Aegis up here, I think. And then Helga. I should apply... Nah, nothing's being applied there. Then we're going to put Init right here. And then Jira right up here to tank the falling stones. Alright, so let's get going into this fight here. So the first few rounds, per usual, we're just going to wait until the boss comes down here. With just these ults, I will reduce their attack of the boss here with some stuns. Just to try to make sure that he's not hitting too hard and taking out our enemy or heroes here. And when we get down to like the bottom 5%, I'm going to start ulting with everybody. I could probably maximize each one of these heroes' damage, but this is the way I would play an APOC 2 fight, so this is the way we're going to do it. Some more stuns. Early on, it's not too crazy, like it doesn't really matter too much, you just need to get some stuns up there. I think the maximum I've ever seen is 12. I'm at minus 122%. So we're going to go ahead and pause it, put it on 1x, and we're going to start activating some ults here. Let's start with Constance, Zillitu, Init, Lyra, TwinFiend, Aegis, and then Light of Judgment. We can also activate Jira, which you could have done a long time ago, which is fine though. So look at that, we're at 65, 6700, 68, 7k. By the time the Aegis shield comes up, it's pretty crazy. Very nice numbers here. Now I'm going to use this kind of time here just to showcase how Lyra is going to work for removing buffs from Aegis shield. Now you can see she has 2 of her cosmic rifts open right now. Well, she also has a nice buff from Init there, which is nice. As soon as he puts up the buff on himself, if she has 2 and you activate her ultimate, she's going to remove them. It doesn't matter how many stacks there are, you know, it doesn't matter anything. If she just needs to have 2 cosmic rifts open and then use her ult and remove the Aegis buff. Alright, so let's just let it go here until we get into that point. I'm going to activate Percy. I usually do right there anyways. Okay, you see she still has 2 rifts open. Now it's 1. Now it's 2. We got a buff up. Oh, I just activated on 1. The other one disappeared on me in a bad time. That is okay. That's going to happen sometimes. I should have been a little bit more careful. But now, see, she has 2, and it would remove the buff. Alright, so I'm going to activate Jira again. There, she's in a full ult, so you don't have to worry about activating her anymore. I want to see if I can get her ult back here in time to remove this buff. Come on, 74%. It'll do it pretty consistently every 2 Aegis buffs. Okay, come on. Keep it up there. Alright, activate. Remove the buffs. There they go. They're gone. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to pause and come back out here and get everybody's ultimates going once again. So, Constance, Zillitu, Init, Pyros, Aegis, and Light of Judgment. Perfect. It'd be nice to be at like 14k, that'd be crazy, but it looks like we're at right around 13. Come on, 14, you can do it. That's pretty close. I'm gonna count that as 14k to second round. Amazing, very good damage. I like that. Alright, so now on the poison phase, this is just per usual. You're just gonna have to go ahead and... I will save everybody's ults till the end again. As soon as he comes down with his arm, activate Eloin. And we will just wait. this is where bringing Carnelian is better, because those kinds of hits, they will start to hurt later on in the fight. And Helga isn't going to help you with that. She's only going to help you with the saw. So if you bring Helga, you need to build your team up with a lot more HP percentage. And mine actually isn't really built very high HP right now. Okay, so looks like Zillitu probably won't be back to her ult in time. It's okay. Go ahead and put down a Wood Elf here. And as soon as he comes back to the lasers, he's not coming back fast enough. So same thing, Constance, Init, Lyra, TwinFiend, Aegis, and Light of Judgment. Perfect. Oh, now Zillitu's ready, which is fine. Alright, so I'm going to come back to you after this time lapse, and I've shown you how it works for each wave. I'm going to continue on that same path until we get to 120k, and then I'll come back to you with the results. Alright, see you in a little bit. Alright, so here we go into the AE Advanced Evolution 4 Aegis phase, and I wanted to stop for a moment and just kind of show you what's going on as far as damage goes and see how they're doing. So far it seems like it's okay. Lyra was actually taken out in the fight once already. I don't think that's anything. It might have just been bad luck. Maybe the attack down fell off for a moment. I'm not really sure. But here we go with a nice hit. Constance, Zillitu, Init. And I want to see first, does she have two? Yep. Lyra, TwinFiend, and Aegis, and Lightning of Judgment. So you can see the damage is pretty good. I'm not really too concerned about it. I'm gonna go ahead and activate Eloin just to make sure the slam doesn't get him. Hopefully it doesn't get him. There you go, get him back up. There you go, nice. Alright. So, As you can see, I took the Aegis shield right off of there, the buff anyways. It's coming up on her ultimate again. Maybe building her a little bit of extra raid regen might be a little bit nicer if you want to make sure that stays. Taking it off every single time he puts one on, you're going to have to build her a little faster. But I think in general it's fine as it is. See, it's already up and ready to go again. Now this time I want to try to get right Furcy here, then Lyra, then TwinFiend, then Praetus, and Light of Judgment again, and then we can go ahead with Constance and hit it. Get some more damage out. Plenty of damage. We're in minute 50. You gotta remember that these heroes are built really well. This is the test server after all. I'm gonna do the same thing with Elowen this time. Put down a Wood Elf, make sure that slam doesn't hurt too bad, get her ult going. Just try to keep them going a little bit longer, make sure that they don't get taken out. Like I did say before, they're not built in really high HP gear, so I'm only shooting for like 120k here. We got it really nice and early. My first test run with this, I had to go almost through the Titan's Drake phase at this Advanced Evolution 4 in order to get that 120k, so it's really nice that we're there nice and early here this time. Alright, so Constance is not ready. Zillitu is though. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wait for Furcy. Hopefully we can get off another whack from Lyra with her orbs up. It looks like they're up. I'm going to activate everybody here. Going forward. And then we'll get Constance going. Use Furcy's ult to maximize Praetus' damage that time, and I think by the time we take this phase down here, we're gonna go ahead and end the fight, pull up all the heroes, and we'll go over and see what the damage numbers are. I'm really curious to see how much better Zillitu did, how much better Praetus did, because Praetus' damage is also going to go up from that magic resistance reduction. Also, when TwinFiend uses his ultimate, that's going to help Praetus because he's putting a 25% magic damage vulnerability up as well, so it's going to increase his damage like wild. So you have Praetus and TwinFiend kind of pairing the Infernal Blast comp with an Arbiter comp is really good. Let's start pulling these heroes up before he comes out and destroys us or something because I'm not paying attention. Alright. You didn't know, in order to see those test results, you gotta pull these guys up all one by one or they need to just die. Alright. So let's go to the end here. We did get our 120k very easily, I might add. I wasn't really too worried at all for most of the time of the fight. And we have to remember that Lyra was off the field for about 62 seconds, which is a lifetime. It's much more than you would think it is. But let's see how her damage is. Let's see how Praetus' damage is, and particularly Zillitu's as well. Alright, so we're not going to save. That should bring me to the results here. Okay, stats. Lyra, 265.7 million. So you can see, she was off the field for 60 seconds or a minute or whatever it is for her redeployment time. The first time she goes off, I think it might be 80 seconds, I'm not sure. But 265 million. Zillitu coming in at 251 million. When it comes to APOC 2, Zillitu is just trash. Now she's not in a Wailing Skull either. She's in her exclusive artifact at level 25, which is typically worse. But I wanted to try to just mostly focus on Zillitu's magic damage, so that's why I put her not in a Wailing Skull. In it coming at 173, it's kind of disappointing on his end. His damage is decent. It's not too crazy. I think that in it might be Awaken level 5 or something along those lines. I don't know, I might have to do something to tweak that, but we're not here for that anyways. We have TwinFiend coming in at 90k, and then we have Jira coming in here at 75. She's just extra damage on top of everything because she's just mostly in there to tank. Her gear isn't really that great. But Praetus at 344, Lyra at 265. I know she'd be at 300 million if she wouldn't have died. I did not try to do any special focus on Lyra's damage when she ulted. I just tried to play it like I would normally play the fight. But you can see now that with Lyra on the team, the Infernal Blast teams are definitely back in the picture now. It's really cool. Now that Lyra there is Awaken 5, and that's completely unrealistic, like I said, but we are here to see the maximum damage that I can get out of Lyra. And if I bring that fight a lot longer and really tweak this to make it so they can last into the 250k range, I know she'd be doing 6, 7, maybe even 800 million damage or more. But speaking of that, I want to look at her awakenings quick so I can explain the differences of what's going on here. Awaken level 1, using Starfall Strike extends the duration of all cosmic rifts by 8 seconds. This is going to make life a lot easier for you when you're trying to take off the buffs. So if you really want to use Lyra and you're really into her, I would say you want to go for 2 copies of Lyra. Try to get her awakened 1. It's manageable without it, but it's nice to have the A1, especially that's going to increase their damage as well. Awaken level 2 is this attack plus 300. Awaken level 3 is when Celestial Confluence reaches full stacks, the damage dealt by cosmic rifts, mimics, basic attacks increases to 100% of the hero's basic attack damage. Now originally this is 50% and it's going to go up to 100%, so it's a big deal when she starts mimicking other heroes' attacks. And just a short reminder quickly that you need to make sure that TwinFiend is within her range so she can copy his focus fire and copy all of his basic attacks as well. You want to keep her Infernal Blast units within her range. Awaken 4 is penetration plus 8%. This is going to obviously help you as far as increasing her damage some more because she's going to ignore a little bit more of that magic resistance. Awaken level 5 is going to be Starfall Strike ignores 70% magic resistance, but reduces the hero's rage regen by 15%. Starfall Strike is her ultimate, so that 700% hit from Starfall Strike is going to be ignoring 70% magic resistance, plus her magic resist down. So this is almost like she's doing true damage when she's at Awaken level 5. And that's what's really amping up her damage. A5 Lyra is nuts. Absolutely nuts. You saw that Praetus damage was 340. Hers was 265 in that range. And then we had Zillitu all the way up to 250, which is also insane for Zillitu. That helped her out a ton having that Magic Res Reduction on there. But if you consider pairing her against an A5 Praetus, and she's only like 20% behind him, that is really, really good damage for a unit. I can't express that anymore. But anyways, guys, do I think Lyra is worth the hassle? I think you should pick up a copy or 2, just in case you wanted to play with the Infernal Blast teams at some point in time. If you have Lord Phineas and you have TwinFiend or even a Pyros, she's gonna make a huge difference for you. As far as Guild Boss 1 goes, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to build them with some extra crit damage, but she will also mimic the attacks. She's going to be doing those 700% hits, and it's just going to be insane anyways too. Anyways, guys, I'm really excited for Lyra to hit the banners. I'm going to try to go for 1 legendary just to try to pick up myself 1 copy of Lyra, because I like to play with the Infernal Blast teams every once in a while, just like I did here. And see what you can do with them. Anyways, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you didn't know, only 30% of my viewers are subscribed. If you'd like to support the channel, keep these videos rolling in from the test server, keep me making more, I'd really appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It is really helpful. But anyways, with that all being said, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.